Mrs. Craig?
Here.
Mr. Hayden?
Here.
Mr. Giuliano?
Here.
Mr. Nuss? Mrs. Ranzan?
Here.
Hold on one second. I gotta mute my live stream. Mrs. Steele?
Here.
Mrs. Stoll? Mrs. Whitty?
Here.
Mr. D'Agostino?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Would you please join me in the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, sorry about that, Mr. Galt. We see the flag there.
Okay.
All right. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Sussex-Wantage Regional School District Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the school building and notice of said meeting sent to the New Jersey Herald and the Star Ledger.
The Sussex-Wantage Regional School District is a responsive, caring, child-centered community. Our mission is to educate each individual to become a confident, competent, lifelong learner and a productive, responsible citizen by providing challenging opportunities in a safe environment through a partnership of families, schools, and communities.
All right, at this time, we will move on to the report of the Superintendent of Schools.
So like Mr. Schwartz is just going to take a minute to get set up and present the students of the month.
Good evening, Mr. Gall, Mr. D'Agostino, members of our Board of Education, and of our audience tonight. While our circumstances are quite different now, our students are continuing to go above and beyond each and every day. Before I begin tonight, I would like to acknowledge the hard work being done by all of our students during this challenging time. When speaking with our teachers and students, there was no doubt in everyone's mind that we needed to continue to highlight our students of the month. Teachers continue to share how proud they are of all their students, many indicating that they wish they could nominate more than one student a month. Tonight, I will recognize two students from each grade level as the March and April students of the month. In June, I will recognize our May and June students of the month at each grade level. Tonight, as I introduce each of you to each student, I will present some summaries of the qualities and attributes that have helped them earn this recognition. The sixth grade student of the month for the month of March is Janelle Anderson. Throughout the month of March, Janelle demonstrated that she was a hardworking student who was extremely motivated to complete her work with accuracy all of the time. Her teachers stated that Janelle is a positive example for all of her peers and is always willing to help others. She greets her teachers and peers with a smile each and every day and is always willing to work with any classmate. She is a student that every teacher would love to have. Janelle's great personality, combined with her work ethic, make for a dream student. Please join me in congratulating Janelle Anderson as the sixth grade student of the month for the month of March. Congratulations, Janelle.
Congratulations.
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 The sixth grade student of the month for April is Rebecca Featherman. I will read the following statement from one of Rebecca's teachers. Rebecca Featherman has rocked remote learning. She is always helping out her classmates with links that they need to go on, or going above and beyond finding samples of poems to share with her peers to cheer them up. She participates in all Google Meets and has been submitting her work with great effort for all of her classes remotely and is willing to step up and help her peers who need a hand. Her mother reports that she has been working independently at home and is very driven to complete all of her work on her own. Rebecca has also been so helpful around the house, asking for extra work and schoolwork because she really enjoys the challenge. Please join me in congratulating Rebecca Featherman as the 6th grade student of the month for April. Congratulations, Rebecca.
Congratulations, Rebecca.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
The 7th grade student of the month for the month of March is Maverick Essler. Maverick can be described best by his teachers, who stated the following: Maverick loves basketball and seriously misses our lunch breakout rooms because he misses basketball games that they played every day. He is a kind, loyal, and thoughtful young man. He is always willing to help others and feels everyone in the classroom deserves the right to learn and be heard. He was always late to focus because he felt that it was his duty to make sure that all the materials in the gym class were put away, and he would always stick up for other students when he felt they were being mistreated. During distant learning, Maverick has been consistently completing his work and attending all of his online meetings. Maverick is a phenomenal young man who is going places. Please join me in congratulating Maverick as the 7th grade student of the month for the month of March. Congratulations, Maverick.
Congratulations, Maverick.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
The 7th grade student of the month for April is Davida Featherman. Davida is amazingly kind-hearted. She is always willing to help out a friend, reach out to make new friends, and always greets everyone with a smile every day. She gives 110% in all of her work and is absolutely taking remote learning to a new level. She completes assignments given to her with enthusiasm. During the time of remote learning, Davida independently took it upon herself to learn how to operate Google Classroom and how to navigate any sites related to her classroom assignments. Davida is so enthusiastic that she even has respectfully attended a few of her sister's Google Meets for reading workshop, asking the teacher ahead of time, of course. When discussing Davida's amazing work with her mother stated that she couldn't be prouder of her and how well she is doing. And we have to say the same about her initiative, her positive outlook, and her overall growth. It's been amazing to watch. Congratulations, Davida.
Congratulations.
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 The 8th grade student of the month for the month of March is Emily Morgan. Emily has truly grown throughout her career at SMS. She is a mature young lady who is ready for the next chapter in her life, high school. Emily's teachers had the following to say: Emily is a very kind person and a pleasure to have in class. She always tries her best in all of her work. She has especially been a rock star in online learning, always getting her work done on time, and has been a great communicator. Emily is someone every teacher would want in their classes, as she shows respect for both her teachers and her peers. She exhibits a positive outlook and attitude in her classroom and consistently cooperates and remains focused on her work. We are excited to see what she achieves in high school next year. Congratulations, Emily.
Congratulations, Emily.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
The 8th grade student for the month of April is Carson Citro. Carson is a young man that radiates positive energy. No matter when you see him or where you see him, he always has a smile on his face and seems to be enjoying what he's doing. Carson's teacher stated the following: Carson is simply an awesome student. He has everything that a teacher could ask for in a student. He is the type of kid who truly cares about others and will be the first to notice something about you and compliment you on it. He completes all of his assignments and gives 110% in all subject areas. Carson is a worker, and he is constantly driven to progress and achieve more. It is this internal drive that will continue to take him places. Please keep up the great work, Carson. As we say goodbye to both of these 8th graders at the end of the year, I can say that they have had a tremendous impact on their teachers and peers along the way, and we wish them nothing but success as they move on into high school and look forward to seeing all that they achieve. So congratulations, Carson and the rest of the students of the month. Great job, everybody. I look forward to presenting our other students of the month in June. Great job, everyone.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to all the recipients, and thank you, Mr. Schwartz, for your presentation.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Report of the superintendent of schools. You are already aware we had a short duration between our last meeting and this meeting, so there's not a whole lot to report out on. We did have a curriculum special services meeting. Invited Vicky to attend today, and Mrs. Thimolakis to present a concise presentation about our science assessment scores. One area that I did want to highlight that was discussed at the curriculum committee was the trying to give the folks a focus on what they can contribute to the greatest degree relative to our reopening plan, which, we'll be meeting in a larger committee later in the month. But we kind of prepared them for the areas that they can most appropriately contribute to as a smaller subgroup. And I also had the privilege of attending a regional superintendent meeting. The county superintendents have kind of taken it upon themselves with Dr. Lamonte to form kind of a coalition to brainstorm and strategize about reopening strategies. So I had my first meeting today that went very well. And we're beginning to identify all the concrete kind of obstacles and challenges that we would face. The state's also asking us to begin preparing and thinking about varied scenarios, which I'll report out on at the larger meeting. And I'd like to turn it over to Mrs. Thimolakis for her science presentation.
Thank you. I'm just going to get it set up. And before I begin, I just want to thank everyone for your patience, flexibility, and understanding during this very difficult time. I'm required to present this to the Board of Ed yearly within a specific time frame, and I appreciate you having me during this trying time. We took the New Jersey Student Learning Assessment Science for the first time, and these are the results from the spring 2019 administration. We didn't take it this year because of the school closure. It was a brand new test to us. Typically, we took the New Jersey Ask. The New Jersey Ask is significantly different from the NJ SLA Science, as the NJ SLA Science are more rigorous standards, while the New Jersey Ask focuses more on the rote memorization of content. It is a federally required state assessment administered to students in grade 5 and 8. Oops, sorry. Okay. I won't spend too much time on each slide, but really our goal is a level 3, which a level 3 is the appropriate grade level expectations. And as you can see, we have exceeded the state expectations for level 3. And I'll go into this in a little bit more depth. 224 students overall took the assessment, and this is grade 5 specifically. So again, level 1 is a minimal understanding. Level 2 is a limited grade level understanding. Level 3 is an appropriate grade level expectation, so that is our goal. And level 4 is an advanced understanding. Our percentage of students with appropriate and advanced understanding is 25.2%. With the state average being 29.2%. So that is an area of growth for grade 5. Our students in grade 8, 17.1% had appropriate grade level expectations, and 1.9 had advanced understanding, a total of 9.
Hello?
So really right in that ballpark, which is excellent. Some notable achievements in 5th grade specifically, 51% of 5th grade students near met or exceeded expectations in the domain of earth and space science compared to 49% statewide. 55% compared to 52% statewide near met or exceeded expectations in physical science. 54% compared to 52% statewide, near met or exceeded expectations in investigating practices, which is asking questions and defining problems, planning and carrying out investigations, and using mathematical and computational thinking. 54% compared to 52% statewide of 5th grade students near met or exceeded expectations in critiquing practices, which is engaging in arguments from evidence and obtaining and evaluating and communicating information.
Get down. Get down. Sorry, my cat is like on top of the table, so I'm sorry.
That's okay. In eighth grade specifically, 54% of our eighth grade students near met or exceeded expectations in earth and space science compared to 46% statewide. 42% compared to 38% statewide, near met or exceeded expectations in sense-making practices, which is developing and using models, analyzing and interpreting data, and constructing explanations and designing solutions. And then 50% compared to 41% of our eighth grade students near met or exceeded expectations in critiquing practices. And again, 19% of our eighth grade students met or exceeded expectations compared to 19.8 statewide. So in under normal circumstances, the interventions that I would recommend would be to review the master schedule to discuss an increase in science instruction time. We may be advised to push that off at this time, as during these times, I think normalcy, consistency is definitely the best strategy to get back in. We're focused on remote instruction in the curriculum at this time, and then focusing on continuing to assess students in all areas, definitely including science in the upcoming school year. Also explore science-based professional development opportunities and provide the science department with PLC time to review the data and assessments in order to identify specific domains and enhance instruction. We are required to include some slides on race. We are not a very diverse community, so these charts are really not compelling. That's grade 5 and grade 8. Why do we need a new test? Simply put, we need a new assessment as new standards came out in 2014. So we needed to adhere to a test that would adhere to the new standards. The science scores will be utilized in the New Jersey CUSAC review in 2021-22 using the upcoming school year's assessment. So they're not being used in our New Jersey CUSAC review for this year. It is not a state graduation assessment requirement. And I already shared this, but the scores look significantly different from the previous assessment. As Ask emphasized New Jersey Ask emphasized the memorization of content, while the science exam currently reflects new expectations outlined in the new science standards, and it focuses on applying the skills and knowledge. How can we use this data? I spoke about this earlier in the intervention plan. Again, this would be my recommendation under normal circumstances, and we will be reevaluating student achievement and growth in all academic areas, including science, in light of COVID. It does serve to open up the lines of communication to enhance our science instruction. And these resources are available for further support. That's all.
Thank you, Mrs. Thimmelakis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Gall, for your report?
Not on my end, Mr. D'Agostino. I do have one audience remark when you transition to that.
Great. We'll do that now. Audience remarks. Members of the audience are invited to make brief comments about items on this agenda and matters of interest to the district. And to remind those watching, if you would like to send in an email to boe2020@swregional.org, and we'll read your comment in the next comment section at the end of the meeting.
So as I mentioned, we have one comment at this juncture, and it comes to us from Lisa Fahrenfeld, our SWIA president. She'd like to say, SWIA wants to thank Mr. Stephen Kronsky and his team of tech support for their endless patience and support in helping our staff navigate during our online learning. They're always willing to help no matter the time of day or night. We truly appreciate their efforts. Let me thank Lisa for her comments.
Thank you very much. And we would also like to thank Mr. Kronsky and his crew for helping us out with the Board of Education meetings and all he does for the district. With no more comments, we'll move on to the Board Secretary certification, please.
Pursuant to NJAC 6A 23A-16.10C3, I certify that as of April 30th, 2020, no line item account has encumbrances and expenditures which in total exceed the line item appropriation in violation of NJAC 6A 23A-16.10A.
Thank you, Mrs. Riker. At this point, we'll move on to the approval of board minutes for April 29th, 2020, regular and executive session. Looking for a motion, please.
I'll make a
I'll
motion.
make a motion.
Thank you. Looking for a second?
Second.
Thank you. And roll call, please.
Okay, I just want to confirm that Mrs. Craig and then Mr. Giuliano.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Mrs. Craig,
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano,
Yes.
Mr. Hayden,
Yes.
Mr. Nuss. Oh, I thought he had joined.
I
Mrs.
believe he's here.
Ranzan,
Yes.
Mrs. Steele,
Yeah.
Mrs. Whitty,
Yeah.
Mr. D'Agostino.
Yes.
Minutes are approved.
All right, at this time, I believe we are going to go into a short executive session. Can I get a resolution, please, Mrs. Riker?
Whereas pursuant to NJSA 10-4-12B, the Sussex-Wantage Regional Board of Education may exclude the public from that portion of a public meeting at which the board discusses any of the matters described at NJSA 10-4-12B 1 through 9. Now therefore be it resolved that the Sussex-Wantage Regional Board of Education shall enter into closed session to discuss personnel matters and a grievance. Now therefore be it further resolved by the Sussex-Wantage Regional Board of Education that pursuant to NJSA 10-4-13B, the time when and the circumstances under which the discussion conducted in closed session can be disclosed to the public is when the need for confidentiality no longer exists.
Thank you. Looking for a motion, please. All right, thank you, Mrs. Ranzan. Looking for a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, Mr. Gall, did you
Yeah,
want to
so
say
I'm
something?
gonna ask Mr. Kronsky It's streaming.
All right, we are back in public session. We apologize to the public for the lengthy executive session. At this time, we are going to move on to the presentation of agenda items.
Under personnel, I'd like to move items 1 through 8 with a note on number 4 and number 6 from Mrs. Riker.
Yes, so on item number 4, attachment C, on page number 1 of 7, Christine Bessemer is listed as a transitional first grader. She actually is a grade 1 teacher, so she just needs to move down a section. On page 2, we're removing Laura DeWall from resource room teachers at Lawrence. We're noting in Wantage that Jessica Orr is now married and her married name is Heddy, Heddy. That's on page 2 of 7 under resource room teachers in Wantage. On page 3, we're adding under preschool teachers, we're adding Laura DeWall in that section. And as of right now, those are the only changes. And then on item number 6, we're making a change to that language. It is now going to say with Ms. Faber's approval, it is recommended that contingent upon the board's authority to open the Summer Care 2020 program and its decision to do so, that the board approve the attached listing of Summer Care 2020 personnel, and that is attachment D.
All right, thank you very much. I'm looking for a motion on personnel, please.
I'll make a motion.
Can I just
Thank you.
interject? If we could clarify that
Sure.
it's for 2020?
Yes, 2020 for summer care.
She did, but I think she might have said attachment D.
I did say that. I'm sorry, and that's what I wrote on the paper. It's actually attachment E. Thank you, Mrs. Whitty.
Okay.
I wrote myself a little note so I didn't
It's tough on here.
mess it up.
All right, so again, on personnel, who made a motion?
I did.
I'll make a motion.
All right, thank you, and looking for a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Hayden. Discussion on personnel.
I have a question.
Sure.
On personnel number 1, we're being asked to accept the resignation, which is fine.
Yeah, I think I know what Mrs. Whitty's pointing to. We have her name listed. I think that was generated prior to the resignation on the
Attachment A number 2.
Yeah. on the recommendation for rehiring non-tenured staff. So Francis, maybe you can comment. We're accepting Ms. Roman's resignation as number 1. So we're going to strike her from the recommendation for rehiring on the non-tenured certified staff, attachment A.
Is that correct, Ms. Fabros?
Sorry, I forgot I was muted. Yes.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much. Any other discussion on personnel? All right, I just want to remind the board on number 7, a yes vote would be to cut the behaviorist position to part-time, and a no vote would be to retain the behaviorist at full-time for number 7. That being said, roll call, please.
Mrs. Ranzan?
Yes to all one, but a no to number 7.
Mr. Hayden?
Yes on all, no on 7.
Mrs. Craig?
Yes to all, but no on number 7.
Mr. Giuliano?
Yes to all but number 7, no.
Mr. Nuss?
Yes to all of them.
Mrs. Steele?
Yes to all, number 7, no.
Mrs. Whitty?
Yes to all of them.
Mr. D'Agostino?
Yes to all and a no on number 7.
Okay. Motion carries on every item but number 7.
Thank you.
So at this time, Mr. Goyle, if I could make a change based upon the roll call on item number 7, make a change to attachment C,
Yes,
page number 4. No, hold on one second. I might be telling you wrong. Yeah, page number 3, under the behaviorist, the salary, which is the current salary, until such time the contract is settled, of 65,762. That is the total. There is no longevity, so the total salary is 65,762. So I'd like to make that change, and if we could get a motion.
Sure.
Motion.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Looking for a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. And discussion on the new resolution. All right, roll call, please.
Mrs. Craig?
Yes.
Mrs. Ranzan?
Yes.
Mr. Hayden?
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano?
Yes.
Mr. Nuss?
Yeah.
Mrs. Steele?
Yeah.
Mrs. Whitty?
Yes.
Mr. D'Agostino?
Yes.
Motion carries.
under policy, I'd like to move items 1 and 2.
All right, looking for a motion, please.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. And looking for a second.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Hyden. Discussion?
I was wondering if we had a determination on what the grade
Score.
yeah, scoring for what?
Yeah, so what we had previously discussed was that the default response in real-time system of a pass would be 100. And as we evolve this into extending an option to a parent, that would not necessarily be viable because your grade would outweigh the grade of someone who's, in theory, working to earn a higher grade, right? Like that was the perspective of various curriculum folks. So what we kind of said was an 80.
So is that to say then if there are Ps in the portal that they're equivalent to an 80?
That would say that we're going to have to work with real-time, our provider, to make that modification.
To make it be 80 as opposed
Yeah.
to. Right. So anyone that passes would get an 80.
If you elect to have the pass-fail option.
So is that going to be a choice with a parent?
Correct.
So all parents, I just want to make it clear, all parents are going to be notified then that you have a choice between a parent score or to keep numeric grades?
Correct. Yeah. What we had discussed was the notion of, rather than us trying to figure out, what folks need or the challenges that they're going through, you tell us, what will work on your end.
So everybody's really still numerical unless you say pass fail.
Yeah, and I don't know that at this juncture, I have to talk to the administration about the best way to phrase that. The overwhelming responses that we received was pass fail. So it may be counterproductive to say that. It may actually be better to say, if you want a numerical grade, let us know.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Thank you.
as an option, I mean, that's a lot of different parents to reach out to that way. I just hope it's not confusing that way, but I mean, I myself would prefer the numerical grade, so I'm happy with that decision.
I'm well aware of that, Mrs. Whitty.
Yeah. But I think that could be complicated because, there's a lot of kids, like parents, it doesn't get confused, So.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Whitty. Is there any other discussion on policy? All right, roll call, please.
Mrs. Craig?
Yes.
Mr. Hayden?
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano?
Yes.
Mr. Nuss?
Yes.
Ms. Ranzan?
Yes.
Mrs. Steele,
Yes.
Mrs. Whitty,
Yes.
Mr. D'Agostino.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Under finance, I'd like to move items 1, 2, and 3.
All right, looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion. Sorry, Nick.
Thank you. Looking for a second.
I'll second.
All right, thank you. Discussion on finance. All right, roll call, please.
Mrs. Craig,
Yes.
Ms. Ranzan,
Yes.
Mr. Hayden,
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano,
Yes.
Mr. Nuss,
Yes.
Mrs. Steele,
Yes.
Mrs. Whitty,
Yes, but I need to abstain on number 2. It's a yes, but I abstain to check number 39879 under number 2.
Mr. D'Agostino.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Motion carries.
Referring to the addendum of under finance I'd like to move item number 1.
All right, looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Mrs. Craig. Looking for a second.
I'll second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion on the addendum. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Craig,
Yes.
Ms. Ranzan,
Yes.
Mr. Hayden,
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano,
Yes.
Mr. Nuss,
Yes.
Mrs. Steele,
Yes.
Ms. Whitty,
Yes.
Mr. D'Agostino.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. At this time, we are going to move on to unfinished business. Does anyone on the board have any unfinished business that they would like to discuss?
I just want to thank everybody again. I want to thank Christina and Mike and everybody for all their hard work.
Thank you, Mrs. Craig.
And the board members.
Yeah, absolutely. The board has put in a lot of hours as well. So on top of thanking the staff and administration, can't go without thanking the board. So thank you for that. Any other unfinished business? All right, we'll move on to new business. Does anyone have any new business that you would like to discuss? All right, seeing none, I believe we have a couple of audience remarks. If you would, Mr. Gall.
Yeah, so we received a comment from Mr. Mike Cicchini, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, referencing that his child's on the waiting list for a preschool program, and he has questions about how many general education spots there are. Why isn't the program expanding if it's a pay-for program? And other schools around the state or county have preschool available. And we can reach out to him directly. I believe there's 8 spots. And Mrs. Riker can weigh in a little bit. I don't believe the price that we charge folks would cover the cost of the program. Isn't that right, Frank?
Yes. So the reason for this program is it is an integrated preschool within our own program. So the reason that we're capped is because you can only have so many students within the program without having to open another section. And so we do charge a nominal amount of money, and it allows for the least restrictive environment for our own students within the program to have these other students attend. So we do only have 8 spots per year. Sometimes there is a wait list, sometimes there isn't. And they pay $300 a month to attend, but again, and we budget that revenue. But if we were to open a new program, we could enroll more students, but the revenue that we would get would certainly not cover the cost of another teacher and the teacher's assistants that we would require.
Yes. So, and the only other comment I can reference is that I think, and I can't speak for everyone, but the district would love to expand pre-K offerings. It's a funding issue. There are some competitive grants out there, which you may, Mr. Cicchini may have read about in the paper. Those are in fact competitive, and we continue to as they're available, apply for them. There's also differences in how districts have been funded in the state of New Jersey. Things like Abbott v. Burke was a case you brought up, but I grew up and taught in a district that was formerly referred to as an Abbott program, and they got different amounts of funding. So long story short, they've had free full day pre-K for, I don't know, 10, 20 years, and we just don't receive that. The other comment from Ms. Cassie Jinks references the extended school year program, and she's wondering how it's going to be run in the summer, online, brick and mortar. One is requesting support for parents with online classroom management. So I think she's referring to the special education extended school year program, if that's accurate. Mrs. Wilson meets regularly with the county director of special services, who's basically advised her to plan on virtual, do not consider brick and mortar or in person at this juncture. My understanding is that we may receive more information from Governor Murphy's office later this month into, more elaboration possibly on summer programs. But again, the advice do not plan for in person. It goes on to praise the teachers and parents and students, and it is requesting some online support, some modifications to resources or more resources, and seems like she's characterizing some difficulty and too much time spent trying to ask questions or search on how to navigate and utilize apps. So we can reach out to her directly as well.
We just had another comment pop up.
Okay, Mrs. Ricker.
Can you clarify grades again? My internet went out from Ms. Lisa Fahrenfeld. So she's a staff member. We'll of course be reviewing this in greater detail with staff member, but the board passed a pass-fail option where a pass, to be clarified, would count for an 80, and be incumbent upon parents notifying us that they need to take advantage of that opportunity.
Great. Are there any other public comments, Mr. Gall? All right. Well, at this time, we do not need another executive session. So I will look for a motion to adjourn.
A motion.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. In a second, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Everyone have a great night. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Everybody stay safe. Thank you.